Hello, chat. The sound is on now. Yay! Feel free to tell us if you can't hear us. Though I'm sure even if you couldn't hear me tell you to do that, you would do that anyway. Yay! This
I think
is.
it sounds all right.
I am on the wrong screen. Okay, here we go. Okay. I brought up the exit to Eden. Wow, okay.
Bravo.
Hi, chat. I'm having extra weird spoony problems today. But other than that, this is Magic Fish Radio, where we do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. On Saturday nights, as you saw from the wrong backdrop I just put up, we do Exit to Eden, which is NWAD in space. Or indie RPG one-shots on alternating Saturdays. But tonight is not Saturday, it is Tuesday, and thus we are going to vamp out with V5 Vampire the Masquerade. And today we are storming a castle and meeting a new friend. Or frenemy, because vampire. We'll see. I spaced out on a lot of the character discussion in that thread because I wanted to be surprised. Woohoo! Anyway, yeah, if you are an indie TTRPG person and want to run something on our stream, like on Saturdays, like one shots, get on our Discord and come talk to us about it. And that's all I can remember to do. Channel points. You can buy buffs for players and GM using channel points instead of cash, because no one we know has any cash, and if they do, they shouldn't be spending it on Twitch. Well, I don't know about shouldn't, but we're okay if you don't. Like, you can subscribe if you want, but honestly, we have nothing for subscribers. I feel bad when people subscribe. Anyway. And with that, so yes, spend channel points, get us +1s for our rolls, and now over to you, John. Tell us about the game and introduce the players. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. Whether you're watching us live or you're watching us in the future, as our producer takes a nap.
Maybe I should.
Day is fast approaching. You'll have the option. So, yes, welcome back to Eldritch Adversaries, a 1920s romp in Vampire the Masquerade, currently stationed in the City of Lights, Gay Paris, where our all-American party is currently here in the midst of a terrible, terrible upheaval just after the Great War and just before the war no one saw coming, thanks to a little sign painter from Austria. And to touch upon the channel points, there were a couple of options for those of you, again, who are watching live, because those of you in the future cannot help with channel points unless you tune in live. If you can, great. If not, can't be helped. But you can purchase additional die for myself or for the players. You can purchase additional points that they can pull from to add to their willpower pools if they actually spend willpower points. And you have the option to buy them the ability to turn a messy critical into a bestial failure, which means they still succeed at the thing, but it still ends poorly, usually culminating in some sort of masquerade breach. It's a problem, but it can't be helped. So, I am literally everyone else in this world, but right now let's run through the people you're all actually here to see. Starting with, let's see, what do we look like on the actual feed? You know what? Let's start with the new fellow, Morningwood. Would you kindly introduce yourself, please? And we'll, you can talk about your character or not if you want. You can still leave that as a surprise.
Hello. I'm Morningwood. I go by a couple of different online personas, but I don't really exist anywhere in any like official capacity. I'm just here because I'm a friend of a friend of someone on the stream, and I wanted to play vampire, so here I am. In terms of what I'm playing, you'll find out more about her as we get to that point. But just to give you the most basic of basics, I'm doing a very classic Toreador, just a super socially minded, very etiquette based character. So hopefully that will bring a lot of really cool dynamics to the party. And you'll find out more about her and her personality when she shows up.
All right, then moving right around in the counterclockwise fashion, Dracus.
Hi, Dracus, playing Vern this evening, your local sewer gremlin Nosferatu. It'll be fun. I don't really know what else to say about my character at the moment, other than tomorrow is going to be a really bad night, I think. If I make it through tonight.
Please diablerize responsibly.
You keep saying that. I don't think I will.
We'll see. We'll see. Next up, Ari.
Hi, I'm Ari. I play Isabel Quincy, Vern's sister, who is currently dealing with the fact that she's now animalistically terrified of her own brother, and is trying to, like, the rational part of her brain is trying to talk to the beast and say, "Hey, don't worry, he wouldn't hurt you." And the beast is saying, "Are you sure?" And Isabel saying,
Yeah.
No.
"I want to be sure." And that's sort of where she's at right now.
And this brings us back to our fantastic channel producer once again.
So when I am awake, I'm Ms. Chrysala. I'm the channel producer and the angry Kermit of this channel, except when I'm the sleepy, unconscious Kermit of this channel. And tonight I am playing Charisse Lowell. Right now she's in Riza mode because Malkavian, there is more than one passenger riding up here. And right now the more daring but less thought out version has control, and we'll see how that goes. And to note, like, right now we're an all-American party, but, you know, when Charisse comes back, you'll have one Brit on the team. Hashtag Mulk
She's
Life.
an American vampire.
I mean, Riza was technically born in the U.S. Technically, metaphorically, we're all from the U.S.
Don't worry. If you can chase the evil out of people with Hail Marys, maybe we can chase the British out of you with the national anthem.
It's that one stupid gif of George Washington saying, "What the fuck is a kilometer?"
And thank you, Nova Kid. You bought us Bestial Failure into Messy Crit. So as for our pools tonight, which I tallied up before we started, unless we spent some last week and I forgot to write it down, the players have 8+1s, 5 willpower, and 3 crit conversions. The GM has 20+1s.
Because let's be honest, any time that I could have used a little more success on my side, the extra die wouldn't have done shit.
I mean, you have 20. I'd be okay. Well, it wouldn't be. I mean, do you want to use more than one per roll?
Don't open that box.
Here's the thing. When I roll 0 successes across 8 dice, I really don't think the ability to add a few more dice is going to make that significant a difference.
Well, I mean, ones don't cancel out successes in this version. Do they? No, they don't. I forget.
I mean, they're supposed to, but we're all still learning this system, so I figured I would put it on, call it easy mode, for the sake of that at least. And if we decide to take V5 into the Modern Knights, where V5 clearly wants to take place, by comparison to V21 or 2, which went, oh, hey, you want to play in the Victorian era? Oh, hey, you want to play in the Dark Ages? Oh, hey, you want to play in the... Yes, here, we'll give you lore. We'll give you new bloodlines, new clans, new powers. Do it.
V5 is only like 4 books in, though. Right? No? More than that?
Core book, Anarch book, Camarilla book, Sabbat book, Second Inquisition, which drops tomorrow, Chicago by Night, Cults of the Blood, Forbidden Religions, Children of the Blood Gods, the V5 PDF Companion. The player's book winds up releasing later this year.
More.
I'm sorry, wait, Vampires had so long they have only just released a player's book?
Yeah, you see, the player's book is going to wind up condensing stuff like all the clans that were in the core book, all the clans that were in the PDF, the La Sombra, which are in Chicago by Night, which was the name of the book I couldn't remember. Oh, and then there's Let the Streets Run Red. So there's at least 13 books for V5 out right now.
Speaking of Vampire, apparently Bloodlines 2 was uncancelled, apparently. It is being made.
Yeah, Bloodlines 2 was never canceled. It was just always in this weird nebulous area of is it or isn't it?
Renegade
but now
it's like watching a soap opera. A soap opera.
A soup opera!
Hi, I don't have full cognitive control right now.
No, soup opera is the best.
You're watching a soup opera with a slotted spoon is what you're watching. That's what Bloodlines 2's development has been.
That said, right now it does seem to be on the side of it is as opposed to it isn't, in terms of they have found a new developer and things are proceeding.
Oh, thank goodness.
I don't know if it means it'll be any good, but it means it more likely will be happening instead of not happening.
I was going to say, it means it's closer to existing, at the very least.
Can't be worse than the Power Rangers Essence 20 book. Moving on.
I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck happened.
This is the sound of ultimate suffering.
What happened there?
Moving right along, because we need to get the new PC and we need to get some shit going. So, when last we left the coterie on their brilliant escapade, they had all climbed into a vehicle that had been allowed to them by a visiting former resident of Power E here to help clean up this shit because something's gone wrong and he doesn't like these things going wrong. It bothers him a great deal.
It bothers him so much that he just brought several platoons of Hessians into Paris. So we effectively restarted war in Paris 20 years early. Whoops.
Yeah, but it's all taking place in the dark.
But in this case, the Germans are fighting for Paris. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And to be fair, you don't actually technically need to be a German to be a Hessian, but that's besides the point.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk about this during break.
To be a Hessian, to be a Hessian in this respect, you just need to be a Bruja. Most of them are German or of German descent, but don't actually necessarily qualify as... There are at least a handful of Americans of German descent among the Hessians.
Were we gaming? I don't remember if we were
terribly sorry. Look, I'm unnecessarily lore dropping. I apologize.
I love hearing the lore dropping. It's very fun.
So yes, the three of you pulled into actually a really, really nice car, really soft seats. I hate the fact that we're going off on an adventure to murder people. Can't we just sink into these seats? These are great. Are those decanters filled with blood?
Don't mind if I do.
Little tipple?
I'm at 1 hunger. I don't think a decanter's gonna...
No, it's not. You to get rid of that last dot of hunger, you need to drain a person.
I have to do a murder, and even Reese is not really into that.
It's for the nerves.
It's for the nerves. So yes.
So did we have a plan?
All right.
Did we?
Did we?
I believe step one of the plan was to like first off get in the door. I should be able to get the three of us past any front gate guards to explain. I can very pleasantly explain to them that I'm of course supposed to be here, and everything is fine.
All right. Oh, I had a vision. Oh yes, my kidnapped semi-ghost friend is being imprisoned there. So
now for this, I
do
have to.
So Tremaine is definitely evil and in league with evil forces with stupid amounts of aspects.
Well, here's the thing. Wait, I thought the thing we determined was we're actually trying to determine if Tremaine is actually guilty or not.
Yes, but since my husband is captured there and was stolen by the creepy woman in the vision I had, they are in league with each other.
Wait.
Otherwise, how the hell is he?
Have I heard this before? Because I don't remember this at all.
This was not revealed.
Charisse, can you explain that from the beginning? Because it's not that I don't trust the vision, because I'm pretty sure, given like the stuff that like the evidence that we've managed to uncover so far, that the vision's definitely like
Well, I said
legit.
I said she took something from me. I thought I was pretty clear that my friend is. Well, okay, I said it was my friend, not my husband. But yeah, so my husband's a spirit. We're not sure if he's completely dead, but
Genuine question.
Hmm?
Is he your husband? Is being married to Charisse make him your husband? How does that work?
I mean, we make it.
Is this the thing to be focusing on right now?
I mean, it works for us, or it did when he had a body.
Oh.
So,
Why am I weirdly jealous again?
it works fine, but you know, he got kidnapped by someone with all these weird, freaky blood rune magics, and he's in there
As
somewhere.
a spirit.
As a spirit, yes. This is why
In a physical location?
terrifying amounts of aspects. That I did make clear.
Some kind of okay, yeah. I mean, like, I used to like, you know, go on. I admittedly when I was a younger girl, I did used to go on like pretend seances and stuff. But I imagine, given how this is real, I imagine it makes sense that that's real also, kind of.
Oh yes, I've been to some pretend seances, and then I've been to some that ain't so pretend. Sometimes I run pretend ones because it's funny, but ghosts are real, sweetie.
Definitely. I
mean,
kind of figured. I figured at this point.
I'm sorry, I keep thinking you're a Toreador and that you have auspex, but you don't. But if you learn auspex, you can see some ghosts. They might not want you looking at them, but you can see them.
Oh, is that how you saw our friend Greg? I always call him Greg. Is that how we saw our friend Greg in London?
Let's just say
Oh, wait,
the
no, you weren't-
Malkavian clan has its own version of auspex that I'm not sure we can teach to others. So, and Greg seems to be a Malkavian, so it's a thing. It's a family thing we got. If you ever notice how a Malkavian can walk into a bar and know who the other Malkavian in the room is, that's how we have special aspects. Does Ari need to does Isabel need to make a deception roll to see if I'm lying to her, or does she just trust me because she's my blood bonded bestie?
I feel like it's. I feel like if you're going to make it if you're going to lie to her, there's some kind of roll. I probably have like some kind of disadvantage to it, but one stage of blood bond I don't think lets you just lie to me with impunity.
I mean, here's the thing: do you have any reason to disbelieve what she's telling you?
Actually, a little bit, because I feel like I've been around enough to know what auspex is.
Okay.
I've never used it.
That Malkavians have special auspex.
Yeah, like the idea that her auspex is different from the other auspex that she's encountered is new and weird. So like,
okay. So are you trying to see if she's lying, or see if you know something more about auspex? Because that's going to change the skill roll you make.
I think know something more about auspex makes the most sense here, just because like, if she doesn't know about auspex, she might not like realize that it's a lie. This is the whole thing that would be like her like. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. So let me go.
Okay, so in that case, roll me an intelligence occults check to see what you know about auspex.
That's flat 3. That's gonna be flat 3d6 then.
Sorry, you better not be rolling 3d6
or 3d10. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Dave.
You're gonna have a very narrow. Have a very narrow chance of winning if you roll 3d6.
All right, so let me go to
Dave
the
just
D5
bought us a player plus one.
Roller. Oh, thank you.
Might need them tonight.
I'm not going to use it here.
Remember, players, declare you're using something from the pool.
Wouldn't it be funny if I wasted it right here just to troll this guy?
You could.
You could. I mean,
I'm not going to do that. I got 2 successes though.
And then Dracus would be in danger of losing their title as biggest chaos demon in the game today. Oh, someone bought us. Someone named Pure Dark Nature just bought us a bunch of player plus ones.
Oh, nice.
You're welcome.
Thanks. That instills fear when you do that.
I got.
You should see him run D&D. Like we got so much gold. He actually gave us a reason to buy a mercenary army just to use the amount of gold we had because we didn't know what else to do with it.
Whoa.
That works.
And also all of the treasure. Like, we have a generous GM. He does not actually want us to die.
I find that GMs generally don't.
I mean, I don't, but yeah.
I don't want you to die, but maybe suffer just a teeny bit.
Oh yeah, suffering is great.
Yeah, that's why we play World of Darkness.
Mhm.
If you don't
So,
like your character suffering, don't play OWAD or any of the WADs.
Fair. So how many successes did you get?
2. So actually,
Okay. So 2 successes. You are aware that Auspex is a discipline. You are aware that it heightens one's senses at its lowest levels and does allow one to comprehend aspects of a person at greater levels and to see beyond what the normal eye can. But you always sort of glazed over those parts because I can presence and dominate. I make people think what I want them to think. I don't need to know what they're thinking.
Actually,
All right.
also, when Isabel was in London, we all met a Malkavian who could clearly see into the future, which is
oh wait, you're right. We
not a
did.
standard Auspex
Yeah.
power.
Yep. Never mind. You're right. You're right.
Or
I
actually,
actually
it
have no
is,
reason.
but-
She
Is
dragged you right into the Malk network to show you something a Malk saw in the ancient past and the
But
and
we
the future
also
about
didn't call it
100
that.
Yeah.
Risa realized she was going into family, and we have special aspects. Makes total sense. You've seen it before.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Maha.
Huh. I mean, I guess it's something with the network thing. I guess that makes
No,
some
we wouldn't
sense.
have called it the net. We wouldn't have used the word network in front of an
Oh,
outsider.
you're right. I
Sorry.
guess it would have been like makes sense. Oh, that's right. I wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm
You'd say,
sorry.
oh, is it like that other Malk in
Oh, yeah, like
London
the one
who
in
had weird
yeah.
powers? And it's like, yeah. Different
Alright.
kind, but yeah.
Huh. Well, all right then.
Anyway, and that's part
So,
of how I know.
Anyway, as long as I can make eye contact with the ghoul, I should be able to get us in there.
You're
as long as he's-
expecting there's only one ghoul. I think I wrote down in my notes.
there should be
Well,
at least half a dozen.
There's half a dozen in the building. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have like more than that. Doesn't necessarily mean that they'll have more than 2 at the actual door.
Okay.
And besides, as long as like we can, if I can get, and besides, I've been into these places before. If you walk with enough confidence, and you say, and people think you're supposed to, and enough people think you're supposed to be there, then you're supposed to be there.
And you've done this a lot to just walk into vampire havens.
Not vampire. Okay, not
Yeah,
the
see,
vampire
that's
havens,
the difference,
but like
sweetie.
sure, but but beforehand, I do also have the ability to convince people that something is true just by like talking to convince people that something that is untrue is true just by looking
Well,
them in the eye.
Sometimes kindred disciplines don't work on ghouls the same way they work on non-ghouls. Just to give you a heads up, sweetie.
I'm aware that this is a risk.
Okay.
That's
Because,
Well,
we
I-
also have Vern, and Vern could just, sneak around to look for a discreet entrance.
that could
In the time it takes you to distract the guards, I'll try to sneak in. And if you successfully manage to, convince them we're supposed to be there, then that's cool. If not, I'll set up a backup plan somehow.
that works. Besides, yeah, I think that makes sense. 2 prongs of attack are better than 1.
Just remember, sweetie, they're torturing spirits in there. I don't know what they're gonna do to kindred.
Mm-hmm.
Because we actually have
Yeah,
bodies.
the torturing spirits thing is something that I didn't actually know until you told me just now.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite alarming.
Don't you wish you still had a Giovanni in the party?
Nope.
Didn't he get? Never mind.
He's busy he's busy being the first Giovanni in Boston, so he has work to do. He could not come gallivanting with us. Alright, remember, well, Vern, one of the things I saw was an entryway, a hallway, and an office. And that's when the agonized screaming of spirits started. So I don't know if this means we need to find the office or avoid it. Well, assuming my spirit's in there. It was a little vague. I'm still relatively young, and my future side is a little hazy.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I can try to look for the office, and then you can make the call on whether or not we avoid or go in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a very bad feeling that we're not going to be the only kindred in there.
Oh, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be a safe or smart thing to do, but it's what we need to do at the moment, so...
Mm-hmm.
So there comes a knock against the glass that separates the driver's seat from where you're all currently speaking. And you hear a voice from actually a small speaker directly beneath it as you see the driver pulling up a small little walkie, because they've not quite managed to get the ones that go up and down yet. They're still, I think, another 10 years away from getting that particular bit in limos to work. And he put on... we are approaching, and you might want to have a look here. If you want to sneak in, you might have an opportunity approaching. Someone's turning in through the gate.
Oh.
And all look up through the front. You see that there is a vehicle turning up through the front gate and heading up the drive, leading up to a 2-story manor at the top of a small hill.
Hell.
Oh, so it isn't even one door. It's a whole manor house with a gate. Yeah, we're gonna have to run in now.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Let's get in. I was hoping we could possibly avoid the master of the house being home, but it looks like we'll have to make this work.
Gates.
Am I able to just, like, use my celerity to
hold the door?
follow that car?
Do you want to obfuscate and celerity after them?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
You guys inside.
Bye.
Let's see. So I assume you're going in. You're using obfuscate first.
Yeah.
Nos zoomies.
And what obfuscate ability are you using? Would this be Cloak of Shadows?
Probably Unseen Passage. I don't know. I don't have these written down well for my reference.
With the power
I
of the
should
vampire
change
can
that.
now move around while... Oh, that's right. Cloak of Shadows, you had to stay still. So yes. So first for Unseen Passage, roll me your rouse check.
Mm-hmm.
See if you get hungrier.
I do not.
You do not. Excellent. And then next
Good
you
for
were
me.
you were going to bust out with celerity.
Celery
Which-
speed.
That went too far. There we go, celerity. And I assume you were going to use what was it? Fleetness.
Yeah.
No, that allows you to add your celerity rating to your non-combat tags. Was it Blink was the one that allowed you to get the burst of speed.
Yeah. I don't have level 3 celerity yet.
Okay.
I've been using rapid reflexes, I think, for this sort of thing.
With this power, vampire suffers no penalty to their defense pool for lack of cover. They can also take a minor action worth up to 2 dice per turn, such as readying, reloading a weapon for free. I mean, I'll say you can use fleetness if you want to attempt to roll dexterity to avoid being caught in the door while you're invisible, in the doors of the gate as they're closing.
Okay.
But you're not. But you're going to need that more because you're not getting the burst of speed to actually follow the car through and maintain at the speed the vehicle is going. Which also requires you to make a rouse check.
I succeed on that one as well.
Okay, you are poking the beast, but it's just like rubbing its full tummy. So you're all driving along as Vern just sort of, and the door opens, and then just as you are running up to the gate, and there are 2 figures who are now about to close the gate as the car has now driven through. I'm going to need you to make me a dexterity athletics check in order to avoid being, being on the wrong side or in the middle of the gate doors.
All right. That is 3 successes.
How many?
3.
Okay. 3 successes is enough for you to manage to just, skirt your way through just before the door closes. So it like sort of like almost nicks your shoe, but you're like, oh, whew. So they close the door since no one told Conrad to stop, he just continues driving down the block. He watches the two figures watch the car down.
Yep, just drive casual, sweetie. And
before
we'll turn a corner.
They readjust their stances, the car continuing up its way towards the manor. What would you like to do, Vern?
Start headed up toward the manor while staying out of sight.
Cool, make me a stealth check. Make this dexterity stealth.
I love these checks that I'm really good at.
Isn't it nice to roll lots and lots of dice sometimes?
8 successes on 6 dice.
So you just go, peace, motherfucker, up the walkway. You follow from a safe distance, which gets safer and safer by the minute because the car, even while in this long driveway, is still moving faster than you are. It eventually comes to a stop outside of these large doors, which would lead to what would effectively be the garage that's just off to the left of the manor. When it comes to a halt, 4 figures get out. 2 in the front seat, 2 in the back. They come round and open up the back, and as they reach into the trunk, they then hoist out this body that has a stake in its chest. And it's very clearly a kindred that they're hoisting in here, and you know it can't be good if these fuckers are hoisting around a kindred for no good reason.
That's a yikes.
So, Vern, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna keep trying to tail these guys and figure out what they're up to.
Okay. So the 4 of them take this figure up, and then the entranceway is a sort of 2-tiered staircase where it's a set of stairs, little plateau, another set of stairs, little plateau, and then leads to the double doors of the manor house. As they're approaching up from the second tier, the doors open, and there are 2 more figures inside, but these 2 are dressed more like one would expect a butler to be dressed, rather than these guys who are dressed more like well-dressed goons. Really is probably the best way to put it.
Brute squad.
They don't necessarily look out of place here, but they also don't necessarily look like they belong, if that makes sense. So they bring this figure inside, and I assume you follow, and you enter into a large entranceway, and to your left and right, as soon as you enter, are 2 doors. There's a large staircase leading up, and there are 2 doors on the left and right leading further into the first floor of the manor. They turn and bring this figure in through the door on the right as you enter. One of them's like, well, you don't speak French, so you don't understand, but one of them is speaking in French as he goes and like trying to hoist up his portion of the body while also handling the doorknob, at which point there's a long sigh, and one of the butler-dressed individuals steps over and just opens the door for him. The goon looks at him for a second, nods, carries on, and you just watch the butler roll as a... Yes. You have your hand right.
Is this staked body covered in a sheet, or should someone describe what her corpse looks like?
You know what? This is probably an excellent opportunity.
I'm assuming who it is. In character, no idea. Out of character.
So, yes, Vern by this point has gotten close enough to get a good look at the body.
Describe to us your beautiful corpse.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth!
So Elizabeth has essentially just really long, kind of like dark reddish brown hair, very like almost otherworldly beautiful, like has very much been spending her entire unlife working on her appearance, and it shows. There isn't a single like speck or flaw on her, and it has been carefully crafted to stay that way. She is dressed as fine as she can be, considering that there's a stake in her chest, and is generally just looks like she stepped right out of a painting. It's serene even in torpor.
Is that a new? Is that a merit? Like looks hot in torpor.
She has looks 4, so.
Oh, okay. So she succeeded at leaving a beautiful corpse. Well, half corpse. If you're...
I mean, to be fair, she is a beautiful corpse.
That's literally the whole character.
We are going to be like the No, yeah, fuck it. We're gonna be the sexiest vampire coterie ever.
Let's
This
do
is
it.
true.
And then,
And this is our friend, the fast goblin.
This is our friend, the invisible Diablery goblin.
I am the menace that you must keep on a chain.
Look, without Ace here, you're the only thing keeping this party alive.
This is probably true.
Anyway.
Yeah, without Ace and Bart here, you're the only thing keeping them all alive. So yes, they bring this very beautiful young woman through these doors, through a billiard parlor where there is a large billiards table over to the left, and there are heads mounted on the walls of beasts that have been hunted. It's like, oh, somebody's gone on safari. Joy. And they pass through another door at the other end, leading into a hallway, which they then hook. I'm actually looking at a map right now to make sure I get all the descriptions right. And they hook down this hallway and entering into a large lounge area where there are several chairs and couches and an actual full bar section set up on the northeastern corner that wraps its way around and is filled with glasses and bottles. It looks like a place that would have very much been used for entertaining when individuals came over and they wanted a good place to drink and smoke the cigars. They take her and they sprawl her out on one of the lounging couches, and they talk and grumble in French before they turn and they exit through. They turn and actually exit out through the door they entered from. So I assume you get out of their way as they leave and close the door. Mm-hmm. Or do you follow them out before they close the door? Or try to, because the last one out's the one who's going to close the door and you're going to have to try and brush past them.
I'm not going to try to do that. I think that's more of a risk than I need to take right this instant. Of course, I'm probably going to get locked into, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, she's torpid. There's no reason to lock the door, so the door just closes.
That's fair.
So yes, Vern, you are there in the presence of this woman. It's just the two of you. What do you do?
Take that stake out. This will fuck with some shit.
Oh.
New ally!
You go to remove the stake. Do me a favor, make me a willpower check real quick.
Oh no!
Dear.
Yeah, that's
so
what
morning...
I was worried was coming, was, hey look, a prone vampire body.
That's the number of dice that I have in willpower right now, right?
Yes.
No hunger dice.
Can they spend from the willpower pool to add to their willpower roll and not eat the new player before they get to play?
The willpower pool is to restore points that they may have spent in willpower.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if her willpower is full, there's nothing for the point to go into.
Okay.
Don't eat me, bro.
I'll try really hard not to. I make no promises. Okay.
And John has realized that there might have been a flaw in his plan to introduce the new
That is
character.
4 successes. Presumably, I am not eating the new character.
Okay. As you're walking towards this prone figure, there's a moment. You lose balance for a second. There's an upset to your equilibrium. Oh, ugh. Oh, that's weird. Huh, funny. I could have sworn her arm was draped across her stomach before. Whatever, this place is getting to me. And then you are free to attempt to remove the stake. This would be strength athletics to try and remove the stake from the chest.
I'm halfway decent at that. It's 3 successes.
Elizabeth, out of curiosity, have you been spending any of your willpower points in order to remain aware before you wind up, or to move your eyes around while you've been staked?
I think probably no, probably not.
Okay.
Considering that she got caught off surprise, I think it was just a
So you've been just paralyzed this whole time, listening to people speak French, just staring in a straight line, brought into this place, laid down here. Again, there's this point when you're laying there when things go a little bit fuzzy, and then the next thing you know, there is this release of pressure from your chest. And everything starts flowing back where it belongs. And you're
I'll come up with a start, kind of like as though I was waking up from sleep, and just shoot up.
She finds a way to wake up gracefully from torpor.
And the stake is just floating in the air.
And then I'm going to let's see. I do have enhanced senses and bloodhound, so I think I can probably tell that someone's there.
Enhanced senses means that you gain a benefit on your rolls. Bloodhound, I don't remember.
Bloodhound, I know, means that I can like smell. Here we go. You can smell the resonance of a human's blood. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, that's not relevant here. So yeah, heightened senses just gives me a bonus on the roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can tell that the stake is floating there, so you can see where theoretically an individual who has obfuscated themselves is. So you may do with that information what you wish. You have recently been chased out of your home, moved across the ocean, had your hotel room busted into, were staked in the chest, dragged here. You still don't know why. You have no idea where your sire's gone. This is becoming a running theme with most of this coterie.
Yeah.
I will look. I will kind of like look around, take everything in, and then like kind of run my hands through my hair, make sure everything's like looking orderly, kind of like fix my clothes to hide the hole in my chest while that heals up. And then I will look towards the floating stake and just with a very exhausted tone just say, "You better be the rescue party or I'm going to be so fucking pissed."
Rescue party wasn't the original intent, but yeah.
Excellent. Where are we going?
I like her.
I like her.
Probably to let the rest of my coterie in this building somehow.
Somehow?
I don't know. I just followed you in. I saw an opportunity and took it.
So you're flying by the seat of your pants?
Yes.
We're fucked.
Oh, quite possibly.
All right, well, the more the merrier. Let's at least strengthen our numbers first. I'll start to stretch. Are you going to give me the benefit of seeing my my rescuer, or actually, wait. Are you going to give me the benefit of seeing my knight in shining armor, or?
Not yet.
How rude. I'm not going to complain about a rescue I don't like, though.
Any port and a steak.
And yeah, I guess I will do what I got to do to clean myself up. So I would like to start off by healing my wounds and doing a blush of life.
Okay. Roll your rouse check.
We've got one failure for that's another hunger. And do I have any hunger from my torpor? I don't believe we established.
You would have the one you started with.
Uh-huh.
You'd have that one from now. You were only staked recently, so we'll just call it a 2 for now.
Okay.
I'll assume you had an opportunity to feed more recently.
Okay, sounds good. I'm sorry.
So just the 2 hunger for right now.
And then here we go for the blush of life. That's a success.
Okay. So still only 2 hunger.
Perfect.
You're watching now as the bones, the muscle, and the flesh start to knit themselves together in the hole in the blouse.
So, how soon can we get out of here?
Door's right there. They didn't lock it.
My word, is everyone around here incompetent? I'm just going to immediately turn the knob.
To be fair, they did not expect you to be waking up.
And let us hope that they didn't expect us anything else that we do tonight.
Fingers crossed.
You're lucky. I rolled to see if they would have left the guard outside the door. You're lucky.
What? She's torpored. What could she possibly do there?
You open the door and you face yourself staring down this long hallway, which has portraits on either side of it as you go down.
Are they all the same dude?
Not all of the same person, though several of them do have strong resemblances to each other. So at least some of these, if this is a kindred home, you imagine do belong to one kindred. You do see the name written underneath them if you bother to look. Tormentero, the 5th, the 4th, the 3rd. Very inventive, I know. But no one, not often are the modern Knights Brujas accredited with an overabundance of brains.
You know, it's too bad this guy is probably already dead, because Riza might want to kill him just on principle. We'll just have to kill the guys who killed him. Yeah, just
line of portraits down the hall.
Whereas the portraits on the other side,
so gauche.
They have other names that all read Thoreau, but other names ahead of them, and the dates that are put there make it look like parent-child, parent-child, parent-child. So it looks like, if you take the time to look at it, it looks like every so often he had a ghoul or someone else stand in as head of the family, and then he eventually came in later again as someone who was studying abroad or was an illegitimate child from some war campaign a decade earlier or something else. So not a terrible cover story, all things considered.
I am going to take the opportunity as I walk by and as I look at any of the portraits that involve a repeat of the head of household. I'm just going to deface them very quickly with a quick just nail across the portrait.
Fuck you.
Actually, I need you to do something else at that point, because these are all well made.
Oh,
so
no!
Yay!
Oh no, he paid for the quality. Oh no!
I'm going to need you to make me a willpower check to avoid being lost in the beauty of the brushstroke work.
Alrighty.
Whether or
and
not
that's
it's fair for the individuals involved is immaterial.
Mm-hmm.
The subjects are bullshit, but wow, the artist knew what they were doing.
I have 3 successes.
Okay. At 3 successes, you are able to fend off... No, I'm being held captive. Captive. Evade capture. We're in Paris. I can go to a museum and get lost later. Not now. Not now.
It's a well-made portrait. Shame what I have to do.
Don't suppose you know anything about him, do you?
I know that if I find him, I'm going to do the exact same thing I did to his... I can't even call it ugly, the beautiful portrait of him.
Fair.
Game recognizes game.
So you come to the end of the hall where there is the door that leads back out into the billiard room. But you also notice that what you didn't see when you first entered in this hallway and went to the left is that just past the door against the wall is a table that has a small vase on it filled with flowers and a pitcher and basin. Looks like one would use to... It looks like a dry sink where one would take the pitcher to pour the water to wash one's hands.
Is there anything else in the room of note? It's just an empty room with the table and the flowers.
The hallway with the portraits, and then that table at the end.
Okay. As we approach the table, I will pick a flower from the vase and just kind of tuck it behind my ear.
Okay.
Your impulse is so much different than mine. I'm like, no, do not knock the vase on the floor like a cat.
Honestly, that was my first reaction, and I was like, no, that's not what this person would do.
And then we
this
start.
is mine now.
And then we start playing Orion High School Host Club.
No.
I was like, smash the vase, and I was like, no, that wouldn't make sense.
Wouldn't make sense, except I don't want the sound to draw attention, so I'm not gonna do it.
When you pull the flower out of the vase and you go to enter it in your hair, when you pull it out, you hear something inside the vase. Pulling the flower out had caused something to shift inside.
I will take a peek inside the vase.
Okay. As you shift the flowers out of the way and peek inside the vase, you see down at the bottom is what looks like a... It looks like a vial of blood. Like just a randomly placed vial of blood inside this vase.
Ooh, a snack. I will take it and just down it immediately. I'm not even going to tell my rescuer what I found.
All right.
Oh, yikes.
Congrats, we now have 2 Chaos Goblins in the party, just of unique flavors
So
to each other.
you take the vial, you pop the cork, you slug it back. Awesome. Well, Vern, you can obviously see this happening. Do me a favor, make me a what would this be? What, you know what this would be? Yeah, this would still be Wits awareness.
Okay.
Make me a Wits awareness check.
You find an unlabeled potion. I drink it.
I got no successes on that.
Okay.
There is no awareness here.
You watch them slug back a vial of blood. Wow. I mean, yeah, there wouldn't have been enough to slake. Incidentally, that vial was enough to slake one hunger.
Yeah.
You're like, I guess there really wasn't enough there to share. I'm kind of full, but rude.
Do you often just drink blood that you find in strange places?
Do you often get staked in the chest and left alone for days on end?
No, I usually get shot in the chest. Anyway.
By lizard.
Well, let me tell you that you usually get very, very thirsty when the former happens. Can't say I know anything about the latter.
Don't recommend it.
No.
I'll do my best to avoid it.
So, at this point, you have the door that leads out into the billiard room. Do you just open the door? Do you listen?
I want to listen first.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess I will also listen.
Then both of you make me a Wits awareness check, please.
Fingers crossed I do better on this one.
And I will use my heightened senses as well.
So add your aspects.
3 successes for me.
1 success.
Okay.
Oh,
Once it's-
no.
You hear nothing. Nothing's in there. You're confident. With 3 successes, just as you're leaning your ear to the door, you hear the sound of the door on the other side of that room closing. You don't know if someone just walked in or someone just walked out, but you heard that door close.
What's at the other end of this hallway?
The hallway you're in right now leads to that bar lounge area, if you head north in the hallway. And now you're in front of the door that leads into that billiards room you passed in through off of the main entranceway.
Okay.
There's only the 2 doors in the hallway you're currently in.
Understood.
But in the billiards room, there was just the one door across from you alongside the billiards table. There was the big glass window there. There was racks for the cues.
Did it look like the window would open?
You didn't take the time to really look at it. You were kind of following them, taking the body.
Okay. I'm going to tell my companion here that I heard the door on the other side of the room, but I don't know if there's anyone in there.
Well, I mean, clearly you heard nothing, so they must have been leaving.
I have no reason to distrust the invisible person just yet.
I mean, they did unstake you.
I haven't
That's
seen
a rad thing to say. That's a rowdy thing to say.
I mean,
I haven't seen their face yet. The minute, if you know what,
It's a-
honestly, GM, if it wasn't for the fact that he was invisible, I would go with what you said. But he's invisible. I don't think I'm better than him.
Yeah.
He just saved my life.
Yeah.
So I'll trust
It's all
what he
part
has
of
to
my
say.
plan.
But
One of us has a plan. That's excellent.
I will.
It's a
I will
long-term
ask-
plan based off of spite and malice.
I will ask. Is that the way you came?
Yeah.
Well, then we're gonna have to take the chance either way.
All right.
Why don't you get in a position that's favorable for you? Just kind of eyeing the invisible person up and down. And I'll do my best to keep them distracted.
All right. I'll see if I can't clear the way if there's someone on the other side then.
All right. So you open the door. The billiards room is currently unoccupied.
Oh,
Okay.
thank goodness.
You must have been hearing the door of the person leaving the room.
Which means that there's probably someone on the other side of the next door.
Well, theoretically, there's at least 1 or 2 people there because it looked like they were there to greet people as they entered.
Right.
And then there's the 4 goons who are somewhere.
All right. Are my dear friends anywhere near being greeted as they enter?
Well, let's rewind things a little bit. So, you two saw as the door opened and an invisible Vern, you assume, rolled out all cool and shit. Not that there was anything to judge that by. You watched the doors close and you didn't hear Vern scream fuck, so you assume Vern made it through with no issue.
We didn't
And
hear any
Conrad
gunshots.
Driving round.
Okay.
So, do you just want to keep driving round the block until you see like a signal that Vern needs help? Do you want to try and saunter your way in or bullshit your way in?
Well, how much were we told about this property before they sent us to storm the castle? Because I don't remember anyone telling me anything about a house on a hill with a fence around it.
Yeah, they did not mention that.
When Hubert was
gave us an
running
address.
When Hubert was running things in the Paris branch, he had helped a lot of kindred with a lot of things, establishing a lot of residences and helping to secure finances. So he told you that this typically has 6, or at least when he was involved, had about 6 ghouls working there regularly. And this is where Tremaine kept all of his liquid assets. He gave you the address, and he gave you like a brief rundown on things. It sounds like the gate might be new, and you can actually see that from the metalwork here. It's all relatively new. There's no signs that this has been out here for 100 years and has been weathered by time and the seasons and the wishes of the populists.
So would it be possible for us to drive around the block once and then exit off, like as if our driver got lost and is doing a turnabout to get back on the right road?
Sure.
Okay, so it's basically like in the middle of Paris, there's this one non-citified hill with a 2-story chateau on it and a fence around it?
Well, no. What it is this is you've ventured a little ways outside of Paris proper.
Okay, we're in Queens, basically.
Yeah, you're in an area where there are several other estates and manors nearby. A bit like the mansions that you'll see in Rhode Island, when you're in Newport, you see all the gilded mansions, all sort of like alongside each other along that cliff face.
Okay.
So there's an estate, there's an estate, there's an estate, and there's roads that you can drive past, and sometimes there's a road that cuts through 2 estates or passes between the barriers of 2 estates.
All right. What I asked Conrad to do is drive around the estate, so Charisse Riza can use her heightened senses to look at it very closely from very far away, and both look for if Vern has already put up a signal, or if we can see a different point of entry, like a servant's entrance, or a back way in, or a hole in the fence, or something. And then after we've done a circuit, we're gonna drive away like, oh, this is not our target, no way. And then we'll probably have the driver park, and then we'll walk back. Because 2 people in shadow would be easier to sneak around than a whole car.
So make me Wits awareness and add your aspects if you're using your heightened senses.
All right, Wits awareness.
And I should make a point here that this is one of those places that has already begun the electrification process, so there are electric lights illuminating things to make it easier for the ghouls to do their job because they can't see in the dark. And I don't believe you have acquired any of the disciplines that allow you to see in the dark.
Oh, that's right. Auspex doesn't let me see it. That's like that gangrel glowy eye power, right?
Yeah, that's
Eyes
a
of the
Protean
beast.
ability. Yeah.
And add my Auspex and 1 hunger dice. Or do I roll a hunger dice with this? I forget.
Yes. You roll a hunger die. If you have a hunger dice, they substitute out an equal number of dice, and you roll for everything except willpower, really.
That's so many dice.
It is very satisfying, isn't it?
It would be if I'd rolled more successes.
Oh no!
So I rolled 9 dice and got 2 successes.
Okay.
So, my dice have now forgotten I'm a Malkavian!
As you're driving around and trying to get a look at the estate, because there is like a sizable bit of land.
What does willpower do again?
You can spend a point of willpower to re-roll up to 3 non-hunger dice.
Then I would like to do that, and then take 1 from the pool to replenish my willpower.
Sure.
Because we have 5, now we have 4. Alright, so roll 3 non-hunger die.
Yep. Or re-roll 3 non-hunger die.
Yeah, re-roll. And there's... Nope. And I can only do that once?
Yeah.
Okay. You're all going to the dice jail!
I'm sorry?
The dice jail! For 1,000 years!
Why do you become German when you do this?
It's supposed to be French, because the cat's name is Miette. Alright, Fadier bought a GM plus 1.
You kick Miette? You kick her?
Miette?
Yeah, it's like the football? Oh, jail for mother!
Jail for dice!
For the 1,000 years!
You fail, Charisse? No, it's I got 2. What do I get with 2 successes and electric lights?
So with 2 successes, because there is like a sizable bit of land
looking for something on fire or open or an invisible Nosferatu.
As you look up past all of the shrubbery and statues that litter the grounds here, because of course there is, it's a manor in France. You do notice that there does appear to be a few entrances as you pass around. There is at least one side entrance that is nearby to an old stable house, so it's probably a servant's entrance there. And as you come around back, there appears to be several large glass doors that wound up leading out into the back garden areas for where entertaining theoretically at one point occurred.
You know, like during the day. Hence windows.
Or, you know, still in the evening possibly, but there's a large veranda area. There's a small canopied area a little bit closer to the fence out where you are. There are statues, there's a fountain. It's all very nice, very look how wealthy I am, I can afford all this shit sort of. It sounds more like the sort of person who would have been building a mansion in the Gilded Age rather than someone who would have built a mansion in France. If that makes sense.
So it's like a French McMansion. Weirdly enough.
It's not quite that bad, but given a little more time, it may get that bad.
Oh, it's very bourgeois.
It's more bougie, yes.
It's bougie, yeah.
It's more bougie,
the OG bougie. Because we are in France.
We are in France.
So, they invented bougie.
It looks a lot like a place owned by a Bruja that wants to stand shoulder to shoulder with Venture and Toreador. So he tried to make the place...
That's what it is.
But can't buy class.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, alright.
So
would we be able to... is there only one entrance to the fence?
No, there is another gate for the fence on the same side as the stables, presumably to allow delivery carts to come through without disturbing anyone. The back entrance, there is no break in the gate there, but there is a gate on the side of the fence that would allow you to basically access the delivery door.
Is it guarded?
Not that you saw, no. Doesn't appear to be anyone there.
Not that I saw. Okay. Alright, well, does it look, I mean, this would have been out of the range of the lights, but does it look like there's a lock on it?
On the gate? You were driving by a little quick. You didn't see if there was necessarily a lock.
Alright, but presumably it can be opened, just we have to figure out how, okay.
Yeah, theoretically.
Isabel, how are you at picking locks?
At picking locks.
Probably be larceny.
Let me see my skill at that. I have 1 dot in larceny, which means I've done it a couple times, but I'm definitely not an expert or anything like that.
I'm about the same place.
I have 2 dots in dexterity and 1 dot in larceny, so I mean I could do it. It wouldn't be an impossibility.
Doors! Anyway, congratulations, Isabel, you're the rogue now. No.
So here's the thing. We could, and this is gonna sound very crazy, we could knock. And whoever comes I don't think so either. I don't think so either, but like
if that car was full of people, there are too many people in that house for you to just talk your way and charm through them. We're gonna have to be sneaky.
Too many. Yeah, unfortunately, not really. I'm more of a social infiltration type.
I know, but we're going into an actual hostile wannabe castle, and
this is no
run
castle.
by people with lots of evil magic, and so.
I will say this as a reminder to how the storyteller system can work. If you make a legitimate argument, you can try to swap out an attribute or a skill that might be more appropriate. So if you wanted to say, for example, that you wanted to take more time to figure out the lock, you could make it an intelligence larceny check rather than dexterity larceny.
Oh.
Well, that would be 4 dots rather than 3,
Me too.
which isn't
so yeah.
Still the same.
Yeah, but better, same. So
All right.
What I think we should do is have what was the driver's name, Conrad?
Yes.
Have him park somewhere discreetly away from here, and we sneak back on foot. Because it's easier. Well, would we be able to sneak back around the way the car came so that the guards in front can't see us?
The guards in front don't currently have line of sight to the side gate, as far as you can tell.
Yes, so it would be the long way around. Well, which side? So we're driving past. What side of?
The entrance Vern went in is on the south side of the estate.
Mm-hmm.
The entrance you're passing by is currently on the east side of the estate. That's where the delivery gate is.
Okay, were we on the south side when we drove past initially?
Yes. That's when you saw the car turn in and Vern go woof.
Okay, so if we go around and have Conrad park, on a road to the west and not cross past the house again, making them suspicious, we then just make that full circuit of car tracks back to the eastern gate and try and break in that way.
You absolutely can if you want.
Like, it'll be a bit of a long walk, but, they won't see us, and they ain't looking for us. Because our car went away.
So Conrad pulls up on the western side, tries to find as dark a spot as possible to let the two of you out. The two of you quietly saunter your way back in the wee hours of the morning. But I assume don't waste too much time because dawn is only a handful of hours away.
Yeah, and our Nosferatu friend is trapped in a house with, like, dozens of bad guys.
Oh, just wait till that obfuscate drops, and then you have to deal with a Toreador who starts losing dice off her discipline checks because of you.
Ouch.
Toreador Bane, when in the presence of things that are not aesthetically beautiful, they wind up losing dice equal to their Bane severity on discipline checks.
Wow.
My God.
And you signed up to do this? Knowing full well who I was playing?
Huh?
Now, bear in mind,
You gotta make things interesting.
Your Bane severity is 1, so you would lose just 1 dice. But as you became a more powerful kindred and your blood potency increased, your Bane severity would also increase.
So what we're saying is Vern needs to learn Mask of 1,000 Faces if that's still a thing. Look, I'm pretty now! Do the thing!
Or Vern needs to find a way to become permanently invisible.
Which,
would not be opposed to that, honestly.
Given other things going on with Vern, that might be the best course of action overall for their continued survival.
I read a book about what happens when a man becomes invisible. It doesn't end well for anybody.
It ends a lot worse when it's a Diablerist.
I'm referring to, like, the classic horror thing, the Invisible Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know.
Yes, cool.
But now you have a permanently invisible Diablerist. That's only worse.
For everyone else.
You all take your...
It's fine. Charisse has aspects. Charisse can just be like...
There he is.
There he is.
So yes, you come around and you come to the side gate. You can now... Which one of you wishes to attempt to pick the lock?
Isabel, do you want to pick the lock while I am magical lookout?
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. So I'm willing to take my time with it because I definitely don't want to, like, cause too much noise here. And
actually, when we get there, is there a lock on the gate?
There is.
Okay.
We have bobby pins. We will fight the lock.
All right, so that's going to be 4 dice, and I'm going to use a +1.
Okay.
Because they're here for a reason, and I would rather have me rolling 5 dice than 4. So that's 5 successes.
Go!
Woo! So, Riza, as you're standing there keeping watch, Isabel is down there and working at it, because this is not a thing Isabel does regularly. So Isabel's like, okay, and I think that, oh no, that doesn't.
But I mean,
move.
she is clearly a bad girl, or at least a wannabe bad girl, so she knows how to pick locks. Like, what else is there to do in the 1920s or teens when she was a child? Like, how else is she gonna have fun?
Well, I mean, there was always taking the horse out for a run, but that didn't necessarily mean picking a lock.
Well, I mean.
Sure it did when it was the neighbor's horse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang, that art looks good.
finding Daddy's stash of cash that he keeps for emergency purposes and just running it over your naked body. Also a fun way to spend your time when you're wealthy and a bad girl.
For which she would also need to pick a lock.
Yes.
Not necessarily. That might just be under the bed.
Well,
6 one, half dozen of the other. This lock, with which Isabel is intimately unfamiliar, eventually gets picked. It takes 10, 15 minutes, but eventually, because again, bobby pin's not meant for this purpose, but you eventually manage to make it go clunk.
All right, Sharice's
satisfaction. I'm useful.
Riza is keeping a lookout either for guards or invisible assassins, or like our invisible friend, or any of my invisible friends. I now have multiples. Or anything on fire. Has Vern shot anybody? Like, just, you know.
In this case, make me a resolve awareness check. As you're trying to, yes, you're trying to remain much more focused on a thing here, rather than just trying to catch like loose things. You're mentally focusing in on specific aspects.
That's actually a pretty good roll for me.
You're welcome.
Oh, well, it's a better. Yes, the hunger dice is not additional. It takes the place, Chris. Come on. Okay.
Yes.
That's where I got confused. I'm like, 7 die? No, not
I mean,
7
if you
dice.
want, there's an optional rule for hunger dice to add to the die pool.
What's the catch? Oh, the optional rule. Okay.
Yeah.
But still, what's the catch?
There's a greater chance that because you're rolling more die, you do stand a better chance of rolling success, but you also have a better chance of rolling dice that offer you nothing, therefore to counteract your critical failures.
Okay.
I see.
Also, that one comes with an additional penalty, making it easier for you to earn hunger.
Okay, that is at least a better roll than the last one. That is 4 successes.
Okay.
Riza is trying to... that makes sense that Riza would need to roll resolve to pay attention for an extended period of time.
Yep. 10, 15 minutes. Don't get bored, don't get bored, don't get bored. What's taking her so long? Don't get bored, don't get bored, don't get bored.
Look at the scenery! Look at the lovely French non-country side. Look at the French suburban side. Isn't this nice?
Don't worry about what's happening. Don't worry about what's happening to Vern and that poor kindred girl they brought inside. Oh, wait, I don't know about that one yet. But yes, the lock is popped. You're able to get the gate open. As you are looking around and trying to keep an eye on things, you do notice that from the second-story windows on this side, which are part of a room, you do see several figures walking back and forth in front of this window. They don't appear to have noticed you. They just appear to be walking and interacting with one another.
Okay. All right, so second floor, east side.
Yes, second floor, east side is where you're seeing these figures.
Okay.
There aren't really windows down here on this like servant's entrance side. You imagine it's probably like enters into like a storehouse or a kitchen or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the two ladies hitch up their skirts and scurry over quietly to the shadowy servant's entrance.
As you are heading along, there is a slight bit of a fuss that kicks up from the stables. The horses inside appearing to react to your nearby presence, but no one seems to pay it much mind.
So there's a few snorts and foot stomps.
There's some snorts, a little bit of neighing, but nothing that seems to catch anyone's attention. When you're looking up, everyone up on that second floor window is still just like...
Can I see like what the inside of the room looks like, or is it just shadows, shadows and on the glass?
Great, you can catch something of what's in there from your angle. You're mostly seeing a like the top part of the wall from the far side of the room, which is a lot of deep brown wood textures. The roof, not the roof, the ceiling of the room has a lot of like a slight sparkling effect. It looks like there might almost be like a gold inlay or something sparkling as an inlay across the top for an artsy effect.
Of course,
and you
there
see
is.
at least 2 figures, though the way some of them are turning and reacting, you imagine that there's at least one more person up there with them.
Alright, 2 or 3 people upstairs. Let's try and be quiet as we go in.
So make me some dexterity stealth checks.
Well, first, Riza's gonna listen into the door.
Okay.
To see if she hears anyone in the servants' quarters.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so make me a wits awareness check real quick.
Can I add my aspects?
If you're using heightened senses, then yes.
Yes, I am. And... I lost count of my dice. Hold on, I'm almost there. Wits, awareness, aspects. Yes, okay. That is the correct pan full of dice. How many dice? Don't fuck up this time. Ooh, much better. Thank you, dice. You've remembered I'm a Malkavian once I threatened you with dice jail.
I see.
Love that worked for you.
Dice jail for 1,000 years. Oh wait, no, that wasn't rolled. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 successes, including a 10.
You don't really...
The 10 is on my hunger die. Does that do a thing?
That would be leading into a messy critical.
Oh dear.
What constitutes a messy critical again?
Messy criticals are instances where you succeed at a thing, but the beast got poked a little too hard.
Okay, yes, I understand thematically, but mechanically, what do I have to roll to get a messy critical?
You need to critically succeed and roll a critical die on your hunger die.
Did I do that?
You did that. If you rolled the 10 on your hunger die, that means that you succeeded on the check and you succeeded critically with hunger.
Oh dear.
So it is at this point that you place your ear against the door and you listen and you gently stroke the beast to try and gain the power of auspex out of it, and the beast stirs a bit much. And this is a much more passive ability, so it's not an instance of take your hand off of her and then you break the guy's wrist instead of just squeezing and removing it. But what happens is, in this instance, your senses all come alight, and you wind up catching not just sounds, but whiffs of things. The hell was that?
Rowdy kids.
Ah, sorry, I heard a thudding noise coming from
Sharice here is distracted by rowdy kittens.
Yeah.
Or Rice, rather.
No, kids. The neighbor's kids apparently made something thud in the unit next door.
Ah.
So while you were trying to focus on expanding your ability to hear, the beast sort of kicked up all of your senses, and you wind up being able to smell and taste things that you weren't looking for but are concerning all the same. There is blood flowing somewhere in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and it's not all human.
I mean, that's not exactly a surprise, because there
Not
are
really,
evil
no.
there are evil Malkavian murdering people in this house, but is it close to me? Or is it in the next room? Or is it just somewhere
It is
in
not
this
the
house?
next room. It is something from further in. However, there is something else here. There is human, there is kindred, there is something else.
Oh dear.
Well, that's concerning. Can she focus enough to, like, just figure out, okay, what's in the next room?
In the next room, you hear no sounds. You smell the notes that are going to naturally come off of barrels and burlap sacks. There's some stuff that is stored here, and you are definitely smelling those, but you don't hear anything. But someone is free-flowing blood from humans, kindreds, and something else.
Hmm.
from somewhere within the confines of this building.
Okay, so there's someone letting loose blood from humans, kindred, and something I can't identify, which isn't either of the above. Oh, it's not lizard people, is it?
No.
Okay, it's not
No,
lizard folk.
we have retconned them out due to poor reception from the audience. The focus groups did not approve, so we are retconning them out.
Anyway, all right. Yeah. So not human, not so humans, kindred, and something that isn't either, and that concerns me. But they are not
Well?
in the next room. Just I went a bit overboard with the heightened senses, and now I smell the whole house.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, am I hungry now? Or do I get another dot of hunger from that, or what?
Make a willpower check to see.
I have not been tracking my willpower at all. I have two
You spent
check.
one and then restored it, so you should
Okay.
be at full.
Okay. This character sheet is so confusing sometimes. Where's my pencil?
Yeah, the channel point thing also keeps you guys from having to really worry about it. It's like, willpower. Do I spend? Do I not? I actually have a pool with which I can just restore these things now. I have candy.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Do I roll a hunger die in my willpower pool?
No.
Oh, okay, then. I just did that by
Willpower is
accident.
pretty much...
Because
yeah,
that one
willpower
rolled a
is one of
10
the few-
again,
yeah.
but it's not actually a hunger die here. Okay, so that is 5 dice and 5 successes.
Okay,
No!
at that point
No!
you're able to sort of resist the compulsion to you're able to tamp down the beast. Like, no, shh, quiet,
Not
quiet,
snack
baby.
time. No
It's
Jetson. No snack time, Jetson.
Yeah, pretty much. You are able to lull the Charisse beast into
But I'm hungry. I'm just so hungry, and I can't focus, and I can't study. I don't know where my boyfriend is. And just
I will say this: it's probably harder for Charisse to calm the Risa beast than it is for Risa to calm the Charisse beast.
Shut up. Go back to reading.
I see.
I gave you all these books with all this lore you need to know.
Back to it, young lady. And technically I'm younger, but who knows? Malclef. All right. Is this door locked?
If you try to open it, no, it is not.
Okay.
All right.
So just very quietly opens it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And before we step inside, she looks inside to see if there are any bodies or people or...
No bodies. Directly across from the door is a simple wooden table that has a book on it and a pen nearby. It looks like some sort of ledger for keeping track of deliveries and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It leads.
Yeah. She's gonna
It leads.
flip through that as we're stealthing,
Okay.
she's just gonna quietly flip that open and look at the last few pages. Or if they're just very dusty because no one's needed to eat food here in a few decades.
Well, there are servants.
There are servants. There are ghouls. And as you're flipping through, it's like, oh yeah, there are deliveries things here. Deliveries: grain, dairy, eggs, firearms. It flip. Oh, flip. Oh, flip. Oh.
What did you find?
They like guns.
Deliveries of... I'm sorry, in the delivery book? In the ledger?
Firearms, ammunition, explosives, and various substances you can't identify. But the fact that you can't identify what is written here, as it is a word you don't recognize, is concerning enough.
She tries to memorize this word in case it comes up later, when she talks to her friend who specializes in trade.
I think we should take. I think if that's all in there, I think we should take the book because that's some evidence. That's evidence. That's what we're looking for. This is pretty close to a smoking gun, or a lot of guns.
Okay, we put it in our bag of holding and keep going.
I assume we have like
The
like a
vampiric
purse or
bag of
something.
holding. The Malkavian flaming toaster bag of holding.
Why is it a
It- what-
toaster?
If one of you has a large enough pocketbook, you can probably shove it in there. Or
I assume that Charisse has like actual pockets, and therefore Riza does too.
Well, I said,
Yeah, but this is-
I
no,
assume
Victorian women had pockets.
They did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what
damn.
else are we gonna put in all those skirts, man? Meh.
This is not a small book. This is a rather sizable book.
Okay, but I mean, it's Charisse's equipment and costuming, so she probably has a carpet bag that she regularly fills with books.
Oh yeah, that's
Probably,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're able to tuck that away.
All right.
Also means
great.
they can't spirit touch it to find I was here.
I definitely didn't. I didn't expect it to be that easy to find, damning evidence. But
Well, yes, but now we have to find Vern.
yeah, I think. Do you think
Also,
that's? Do you
just-
think the book? Do we think the?
Just because he's moving weapons doesn't mean he does evil magic. Unless
Well,
that
no,
word
but-
means something. But if it was
Well,
an occult
no.
thing, I'd recognize it, I think.
Okay, this is true. You don't usually gather explosives to defend. Listen, I may be a vampire, but you don't usually gather heavy explosives to keep a haven safe. That's usually
Well,
for very different
He's a
things.
Brujah. He's a Brujah with no taste. None of us.
Okay, but
I mean, okay, this
I
is
know
suspicious,
listen,
but it's not
I-
completely surprising to me.
yeah,
Anyway.
I also know a Brujah with no taste, and that guy is strong enough to defend himself. Quite frankly, you would think that.
I mean, technically, his dog did most of the defending.
That's true.
Across the European continent, Bart sneezes and feels very angry, followed by Ace letting out a sneeze. He goes, "Those fuckers are talking about us, aren't they?" Isabel's rent rate is going to go so high when I get back to Boston.
Luckily, she's about to move in with a bunch of fairies. 'Cause
Yeah,
That's
be
right.
great. What an excellent epilogue we are heading towards. All right, so Reese is just like, shh, quiet, because people here have aspects and can probably hear us anyway.
You're right. Now, so as you
They
have
have
don't
more
get-
aspects than me. Shush.
All right.
Whispering, please.
as you turn and walk.
Anything I'm
down-
saying is whispering. I just think it would be annoying on like the podcast audio or like.
Our area. I don't know how many times I need to explain this to you. This is not a podcast.
Same thing. Same thing. The point is,
yeah.
audio. I didn't think whispering would be good audio. That's why I didn't
Okay.
want to do it.
Okay. So,
and with Isabel and Riza bickering in
Oh
the
my
in the
gosh.
servants' entranceway, let's cut to our break for the evening.
yes.
Mhm.
We all parties have successfully entered the castle. One of the four against their will, but
We apparently already found some like pretty spicy evidence, which is impressive. I did not expect to find anything like that soon.
Well, we'll see. You might be finding something else fun and spicy soon.
well, like I'm looking for
Oh,
my
dear.
boyfriend, so we'll see.
Mhm.
Anyway, chat, this is where we take a 10-minute break. So, while we are on break, go get you a nice drink, some nice ramen, some nice spring rolls, and we will see you in 10 minutes. Bye! Yay, I got the right window! Right scene. Hello, chat. This is Magic Fish Radio. We do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and tonight is Vampire Night! Woohoo! We are playing Eldritch Adversaries, which I spelled wrong on this background. Hooray. I didn't put the T. I keep forgetting to put the T in Eldritch.
It's fine.
It is the roaring 1920s. We are still using Vampire V5 mechanics, but most of the new lore hasn't happened yet, and we are storming a small castle. Well, we're storming a chateau in France, in Paris. A very bougie chateau.
Yeah.
And we found a new friend. Vern is invisible and it stakes her, and maybe we'll meet today. Maybe we won't. Because we split the party, because that always works out so well. Anyway.
Worked out so far.
Oh, buy us boosts with channel points instead of cash. So click the little bubble thingy, and you can buy us +1s, willpower or crit exchanges for the players, or +1s for the GM. GM, you currently have 21 +1s. Tell me when you use them, so I know to take them off.
I will always tell you when I use them.
Anyway. Now, run game.
Ominous. I can feel like the JoJo menacing whenever you say he's got 20 of them.
It is at this point that we resume with Riza and her blood-bonded Ventru, Isabel.
So we just need to be very, very quiet, because everyone here, not only do they have the same powers as me, but they're probably more powerful powers than mine.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. Should we stay in here and wait for Vern to make a very loud ruckus, or should we start investigating?
Well, I have a feeling that if Vern gets noticed, we probably might want to make an exit. So I think we should keep investigating for now.
Actually, GM, you mentioned that I could smell kindred blood being spilt.
Oh yeah.
Do I know where in the house? Ish? Maybe in a billiards room somewhere? Where there's a kindred lady with blood on her?
Make me a resolve awareness check and add your auspice.
Sniff. Wait, timer over there. Dice over here. Resolve awareness and aspects. So many dice. Oh, okay. I sometimes have trouble telling 6s from 9s, but those are both successes in this, so it's fine.
Yep.
Nice.
4 successes. One of them was a 10. None of them is a hunger die.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As you try to open up and catch well, you smell the blood much more clearly now, and you actually think it's not terribly far from where you are. It leads you down along the east side of the house, and you eventually come into a larger storage area where there are crates and sacks and barrels of all kinds stocked up. And there is a wooden gate on the ground for accessing a basement area that is currently open. And there is a stone staircase leading downstairs. And the smell of human and kindred blood is definitely coming from downstairs. The other aroma, you actually don't smell it now. It's like it got cleaned up.
Yeah, I'm not going down into the underground basement until we know where our Nosferatu friend is. But noting it for later. Do I have a sense now of what Vern smells like? Because, Shuri/Riza is the heightened senses addict.
I would say yes. If you were looking at you would have an idea of what Vern would smell like theoretically.
I mean, not the stereotype that all Nosferatus smell bad, but like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You could probably pick Vern out in a dark room, but you're not exactly following the trail of their scent. So, if you wanted to start trying to go bloodhound on it, it's a thing you could try. But again, you're not running on Protean. You're running on Auspex, right?
I just want to make sure that Vern didn't go down there.
No.
Okay,
no,
then we're not
not
going
as
down
far
there.
as you can.
We'll check that out later when we get your brother back.
Sounds good.
All right. From where you are,
like it could be a murder basement, but there could also be someone down there actively doing murders, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I say out of character because in character, I'm in whisper mode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep.
There is one door in here on the western side that, based on how you've come in and how far you've moved, feels like it starts to run a little bit down towards the southern side of the house, on the northern rather side of the house, leading towards that back patio area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't really want to go into a big place with lots of big windows.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
good visibility from all over the place. So Riza does remember the weird flickery visions she had.
Mm-hmm.
So what she will do is, so the door from the kitchen servants area into, like, the main house.
This has all been storehouse so far.
Yeah. She is going to gingerly look for an entrance or exit into the main house.
Okay.
Do I need to roll?
Yeah. Make me a, we'll call this, is investigation still a skill? Yes, it is. Wits investigation, please. So many things that were once skills, but that were then removed or renamed or fused together in V5.
Can I add my Auspex to that, as she's looking for lights under doors, hidden entrances, weird scrapings where there's hidden doors?
I can also help with that too. I actually have 5 dots in that.
Okay, then make me a Wits investigation check.
And here I can actually help.
Shake it, shake it.
Why is my mouth doing terrible right now?
2 successes.
Okay.
For some reason it's being weird. Anyway,
I shouldn't have sung the shaky shaky dice song.
4 successes.
Okay. Riza, as you're looking around, you really only find the 3 ways in or out of this room, and that's the one that leads into the back room, not into the patio, but into that sort of ballroom area where the big glass doors are, the stairs down into the basement, or the side door from which you entered. Isabel, as you're walking around through the storehouse, you go, wait a moment. Daddy had something like this. One moment, please. And then you're able to trace back away into the hall from where you entered and go, yes, 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 here, so that the servants can easily disappear from a room. And you push the door open, and you are led into a very thin passageway that runs along this hallway and exists between the wall of the next room and the hallway in which you bring things in, which allows the servants to move quickly and quietly from one room to another. It was something designed in homes in order to give the illusion that rooms were cleaned almost by magic, by allowing guests and residents to never actually see the help moving to and from doing things.
Yes. Servant's entrance. It's a servant's entrance over here. This should work well. Well, let's just say that it also makes a very good way to get out, to like get from place to place without being when your father doesn't want you to, when you don't want your father to see what you're doing.
GM, does this secret corridor look like it's been used and kept clean lately? Yes. Okay, so we might run into servants also using it, but we'll see.
As you move along, every so often there are little round bits of wood that are held in place with a small spruce that you can click aside and peek into a room.
I would listen into the room first.
Yeah.
As you stop and listen by the first set of little hidden sprues and you listen inside, you don't hear anything from that room.
Okay. You're not gonna make me roll for it?
No, not in this instance.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll be here rolling every time you pass one of these rooms, and that's just going to take up too much time.
Okay.
Yep.
Then she's going to just very quietly open it a little bit, so she can. Just...
So you take the little thing and you slide it aside, and you peek in through the hole, and you are.
Oh, it's even one of those things. Okay, so
it's a tiny little bit of wood that you just tilt this way out of the way because it's on a tiny hinge.
Mm.
And then you just peek your eye. It's basically just big enough for an eye to just go. As you peek inside, it looks like a massive coat room, like where guests would have their coats taken.
Makes sense.
You find a little further down that there is another hidden door here, presumably for one to come in, take the coats, take them to be cleaned, and put them back.
Yep.
There are several coats hanging here, some of which are very, very nice, very luxurious.
How many coats? I count the coats.
In this
count
room,
the haircuts, Parker.
There are 24 coats or cloaks of very fine cut. So they look like they belong to people of wealth and noble station. But this is the 1920s, so wearing capes and cloaks is almost as likely as wearing a coat, so you find a mix of about those, counting to 2 dozen.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's a vampire's house, so like those are also just a thing people wear sometimes.
Yeah.
Wait, so did I get a sense when over analyzing the sounds that there were 24 people here?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, so these might be victim cloaks.
At least 20 of them look like they're cut for males or other large figured forms, but 4 of them are cut very specifically for female fashion and female frames, or at least female presenting frames.
24 coats here at a man's 24 coats at a man's house with no.
And again, this is not where he would keep his coats. This is where guests' coats.
Yeah,
yes.
That's the thing, is that this wouldn't be his. This isn't his closet. This is his.
A guest closet full of coats, but no guests. Well, that's nothing if not suspicious.
Well, I mean, he is a vampire.
Do you investigate the coats?
Sure. Yeah. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Do I smell more blood?
And again, is this?
No, you don't smell more blood in here. But these coats, they've lost most of the smell of the people who wore them.
Okay.
3 of them still retain very, very much the aromas of cologne or perfume or just person funk upon them. 2 of which were cloaks that would be worn by men, and one of which was a coat that would have been worn by a woman. And the 2 men's cloaks have the mantles that hang down over the shoulders, and they're very classic. The dark black cuts with velvet interiors. One having a deep purple and the other a deep blue. The woman's coat is a very vibrant white that has at the buttons. The buttons are each studded with a diamond.
Is it like a mink or an ermine coat?
I will openly admit I do not know what an ermine coat is.
It's fur.
No, it is not fur. But they are all exquisite. They're all exquisite, high quality, tailored pieces of clothing. Because if you can tailor a coat and a cloak, why not? Got to get the shoulders right, otherwise it droops wrong.
So leaning away from the Sabbat theory, they don't have as many nice things, but this is still.
If you want to investigate the coats in their pockets, that will be Wits investigation, please.
All right, let's give that another roll.
Woohoo.
One success. My dice did not help here.
You keep stopping going, damn it all, I want a coat this nice. Can I get away with taking one of these women's coats? I mean, this is a coat befitting a woman of my station.
Where is this?
Do it.
Can I add my auspex or checking pockets?
something like
yes.
Oh, okay.
Sure. I mean, they're not tailored to fit you, but you could probably get away with pulling off 2 of them and then having them retailored when you get back.
Isabel's already taken one.
Did you take the blue coat, the red coat, the white coat, or the or the gray coat for the women's coat?
I like the red. It's very vibrant.
Excellent.
Does the red coat smell like it's been worn recently?
No, it does not.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I think she would take one of the ones that's like, well, their owner's probably not seeing this anytime soon, so...
I got 3 successes, including a 10 on my hunger die again.
Okay.
That thing loves rolling 10s, huh?
Yeah.
As you're exploring through here and you're trying to use your auspex to catch whiffs to hear sounds, as you're exploring, you try to draw on what information you can, and you sort of accidentally kick into the network as you're exploring around here, and you're sniffing, and you catch glimpses. They're not clear glimpses. You're catching glimpses from outside the network, but are related. You imagine you're receiving connection from someone who maybe had a dot of auspex, but was not a Malkavian. So you're rummaging around some of these things, and some of this is like, no, this one belonged to a ghoul. This one belonged to a ghoul of someone who had auspex, or this one belonged to the ghoul of a Malkavian.
24 cloaks, and we are missing how many vampires and humans? How many ghouls and humans?
10 humans. Or, sorry, 10 vampires.
Yeah.
15 others.
15 okay.
If I recall correctly.
10, 15. 24 is remarkably close to... 24 is remarkably close to
25.
25.
I know I'm not here, but like, why would they steal the coats of people that they burned to death?
Well, that's the thing. It's not.
Yeah, this
what
is
going
weird.
through my mind is that you bring a victim to your big fancy house and then they don't leave. Why move the coat? Just leave it there.
Okay, I'm going to admit sometimes a coincidence is just a coincidence,
okay.
and sometimes you just don't think about the math until you watch the party devolve into chasing an unintended coincidence.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
Fair enough.
That's why I chimed in.
But also,
it does seem weird that these all belong to ghouls.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do. Some of these clearly belong to kindred, and the only reason you're like getting like sort of staticky imagery is because some of these belong to kindred that had a dot in auspex, 2 dots in auspex. They weren't part of the network, but you could kind of vaguely tune in.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to figure out why he has a bunch of dead people's coats at his room.
As you're
like, why doesn't he dispose of them?
Because they need them for doppelgangers.
There's
if they did that, they wouldn't be here. They would be like on the doppelgangers.
Unless they're not done with that plan yet, and there's more people to replace. Or this guy's got enough clout that no one can come in here looking for evidence.
Should we well,
you
I guess we can't
took
just take
one.
Well, yes, but that's for me. I meant like I guess this could be. I mean, do we know if any of these belong to? If some of these belong to if we think some of these belong to kindred, that's more evidence. Let's maybe take a few of those, and I'll.
All right. What's one that seems like it's from a kindred with some auspex?
There are a couple of cloaks that fit that criteria.
Does it smell like it's been worn recently, though?
One of the men's cloaks that smells like it's been worn recently does have notes of kindred to it. The only female piece of attire that smells like a kindred that has been worn recently is the white coat.
Okay. Is there one with an Auspex echo on it that has not been worn recently? Because if someone who's in this house now sees that their coat is gone, they're gonna get a little suspicious.
Yeah, there's a couple of coats that have like that sort of like you were sort of like catching on hazy, like back when you were when you had to adjust you were catching between two radio signals.
Yeah.
Basically, because you were drifting out of connection from one and into another. People having to remember actually tuning to find radio signals in this day and age.
I do, because I'm old.
But there are a couple of coats that that sort of give off that vague tuning that don't smell like they've been worn terribly often or recently.
Okay. Will it fit in my bag?
I mean, you can maybe jam one of them in there, but
yeah,
these are thick. Like, these are thick, heavy winter cloaks.
We only need one. Honestly, maybe we only need the one that Isabel's wearing, because I do know a Malkavian elder with 18 billion tons of Auspex. And is Spirit's Touch still a thing?
I believe it is.
Yeah, so...
After... It's very difficult refamiliarizing myself with everything they did to the...
Let me look. I also have this open. Spirit's Touch is level 4.
Spirit's Touch is, yes. Surroundings in which a 300-year-old letter was written, rated 6 or higher. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing she can do. So whether or not she's going to be able to draw anything off of it is something else.
Yeah, I mean, someone can erase Malkavians off the network.
Also, sometimes the thing's just been sitting there too long and wasn't connected enough to the incident.
Alright, I think we'll be okay with just the one that Isabel took.
Alright, we should be good with
give up my coat.
No, we're gonna... She doesn't want to deal with Isabel having a meltdown right now, so she's gonna bring that up later.
Isabel's not gonna have a meltdown just because she took her coat. It's fine.
Well, no, we're not gonna tell her she's gonna have to lend her coat to a Malkavian until later. So right now she's all happy in her, I have a new coat! And, yep. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, baby Vontra. Okay. So, back into the secret hallway?
Or you can walk out the door that leads from the coat room out into the greater area.
I'm gonna listen in first to hear if anyone's out in that corridor.
Okay.
Is it that it leads into a corridor, or the big ballroom thingy?
You're not certain, but if you had to take a guess, probably into like an entranceway area or near an area where one might have to exit outside, so the coats would have to be nearby.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I listen.
I'll say this much, Isabel. You know that it's not something your parents did, but you know what some people would do is they would have multiple coat rooms, and they would sometimes have people run the coats from one coat room to another, so that they had easy access to their cloaks. Unless it was their own home, at which point they probably had 6 cloaks, one by each door, because look how well off I am. I can afford all of these fantastic coats that are all just lying about. So it's possible if you followed this around, it went out to other coat rooms nearby, other entrances or exits, regardless of where someone was entering or exiting the estate.
Okay. Actually, so based on that and where we are now, and where I saw the entrance that they went... Did I see the entrance that the car full of people went into?
They drove up from the front gate to what looked like the front entrance on the south side of the building.
Okay. So, based on what I've seen of the house outside, and
you're
how
still more towards the north side at this point.
Okay, so when we were in the secret corridor, did the other way go south?
You were actually in the edge of the corridor there. It was just sort of a wall here, which maybe that meant that there was more security over there, or that was like less structurally sound to have the entranceway that goes there, but this one loops up around this way through the north as far as you can tell.
Okay. Alright, well, can I extend my senses and figure out if there's anyone... If we try to start getting... going southward to try and find Vern.
Okay.
Yep, let's
Like-
go for it.
I want to...
So, make me a wits awareness plus aspects.
So that's 5 successes, but a 10 on the hunger die. I hope we run into a vase full of blood, because... well, no, it depends on whose blood.
So, you hear the sound of footsteps from outside. You hear the sound of beating hearts. You smell the blood running through the veins. So these are living people outside the door that you can hear and smell. There is definitely kindred taint upon them. So you are certain they are ghouls.
Okay.
It also sounds terribly inviting.
Do I roll? Do I need to make another willpower roll?
Therese, are you okay?
Is that a yes? Sorry.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so I roll my base 5 again?
Yep.
Okay. Because I don't spend any or lose any willpower if I win. And I won last time. 3 successes.
All right. Riza is able to keep herself in line from coming out the door and stalking the easy prey outside.
She's not convinced it would be that easy, but her beast is, you know, whining again. I want something to eat.
So you hear the...
I've been looking all over the manor from secret entrances and investigated all these codes, and I want a snack, Mummy. Lady,
hear
I
the
don't
sound-
know who wears too much makeup.
So you hear the sound of the footsteps outside, you hear the beating hearts, and you hear them speaking in French to each other.
And I speak French.
Yes, you do. How much longer is it? Obviously, I'm not going to speak French at this. You're just all going to have to deal with my shit accent.
That's fine. I don't actually speak French either. Accent away.
How much longer do we have to stay in preparation for this? Well, assuming that things continue to go as they are arranged, the operation should take place within the next 20 or 30 years. But I heard the master speaking to the lord of the estate, and apparently there have been accelerations involved, and we might actually see everything resolved sooner rather than later. Really? Oh. I didn't think things were getting that bad. You say that's bad, but I don't know. The master certainly seemed quite pleased with the way things were turning around. Very intrigued with the whole thing. Jetson, the treat's on the other side of the cone, bro. Sorry. I'm watching him struggle to the treat because it was getting caught on the other side of his cone.
I heard the meow when you started talking. When will the... So when will this operation take place? Meow! No!
Yeah. So it's possible that sometime within the next few days, Paris will burn. Will that accelerate all of the other plans? I don't know. Maybe. It would be interesting within my own lifetime to watch the entirety of Europe burn. And then you hear the sound of a door open and close as they continue talking as they walk through.
So, what are they saying?
An operation that was supposed to take another 2 or 3 decades might happen in 2 or 3 days, starting with the burning of Paris, and then continuing with the burning of the rest of Europe.
Well,
Because the Master's spooked and accelerating plans.
okay. Well, that's...
So we need to find Vern.
It's a shame that those like new... It's a shame that those newfangled radios aren't small enough to be able to be like carried around and like recorded things. Because otherwise that would have been some pretty juicy evidence, but unfortunately...
Well, we have to survive long enough to get out, sweetie. So we'll speculate about science fiction later. I promise.
Sorry, I just had to make a joke of this would be so much easier if we had
We
some
had
kind of
cell
like,
phones.
we
but
could
no,
record that. That would have been great.
We're in the
don't.
wrong 20s. Well, I mean, Elder Malkavians can tell if you're lying, so... Anyway,
Hopefully
out of
hopefully
character.
Yeah. Oh, so hopefully, well, that's hearing that. At least we can at least relay that.
Also, they mentioned the Master talking to the Lord of the Estate, so Tremaine, whatever the hell his name is still alive and acting of his own stupid-ass volition.
Oh.
Maybe.
All right, so he...
Unless there's a new Master of the house, and they doppelganged him too. But let's focus on finding Vern, because I think we have more than enough. We have more than enough evidence. So now we gotta
Yep. Yeah.
find
I
our
think we're
boy and
good.
get out.
Let's go.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find Mortimer in here.
I think, and every second we're in here is a risk.
Yes.
All right, let's go. All right, where do you think? All right,
Well, Vern went in on the north side.
Outside.
Or the south side. Outside. So...
I wonder what he's doing right now. Let's...
What are we doing right now?
I said that on purpose. I did that on purpose.
You two were about to open the door into the main lobby area.
Oh boy.
We were
We don't
in the billiards room. I think I want to look around here a little bit first.
It's like, I know we just agreed to go in here and we were going to try and handle things, but I want to look around here real quick.
Well, I mean,
I want to check the windows to see if we can get out through them.
The windows in here do not open.
Damn it.
They are purely there to let in light.
Do I jump through a window again? I think the answer is no. As much as I would like to. Defenestration? You don't know where I am. You couldn't throw me even if you wanted to.
True.
All right.
But like, I don't know. There might be evidence in here.
Okay.
We found a discarded cigar. Let's spirits touch it.
There you go.
Make me a wits investigation check.
Something I'm good at. I'm less good at picking up dice, apparently.
So, Elizabeth, you're just watching as now papers are being ruffled, drapes are being turned.
I'm just
Someone's
going
pulling
to
on the steel to see if it opens and reveals a secret door.
just going to
Five
start like kind of
successes.
leaning on like one leg, hand on my hip, and just kind of like, if you must, you know. Again, I can't really complain about the rest of you.
5 successes. As you're looking around here, it's just, there's not really a place to like store something. There's no secret compartment under the billiards table. Like the rag here doesn't move. There's a small drink cart on wheels against the northmost wall here. And as you step towards it and look down as you're investigating, while this should be on wheels to roll left and right, back, forth, you know, they're actually fixed to the ground. And there's the panels that make the the floor here are not perfectly aligned. So you see the cut where it looks like this is supposed to turn.
Oh. Well, that's shady.
Mm-hmm. So when you take hold and you turn the drink cart, the wall that it is, you now realize it is actually affixed to, turns as well. And it leads you into a small space between this room and the next. But unlike the hallway that Charisse and Isabel have found themselves in, this one leads into stairs going straight down.
Oh. Secret passage?
Secret
I'll just kind of
passage.
peek over, and as I hear him say that, indeed. I don't suppose we're going down there.
I mean, we can. We won't be running into whoever's on the other side of that door.
Do you think it leads out of here?
It might. I'd be willing to bet that's not the only staircase down. So it's possible we just go down to the basement and come up somewhere else closer to an outside door that isn't being actively guarded like the front door is.
Worth a try. Alright, let's make our way down there, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's not go into the scary murder basement without the Nosferatu. But no, this is.
Nosferatu
this is the Nosferatu
goes into the scary murder basement.
I mean, but that's
Spooky
what the Nos
basement.
do. That's what you're for.
Yeah.
You both step into the basement, following the stairs down. You eventually enter into the stone-floored cellar area. And you follow the passageway along, and you see a partially ajar door that leads into a room with a fireplace and a chimney that looks like it leads up apparently through the next several floors of the estate, leading out to one of the chimneys that would be on top of the roof. The fire is lit, but it is currently closed off behind an iron gate that mostly just allows the light from the fire to come in and illuminate the space.
I am going to admire the fire from a safe distance.
Within this room is a large, immaculately carved wooden desk. There are several chairs. There are bookcases everywhere.
Vern found the office. Maybe.
Well, that seems promising.
Lots more secrets here.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you're after?
I was looking for evidence that this guy was involved in something else. How long have you been in Paris?
Oh, a few days at the most.
Picked a hell of a time to visit, as I did apparently.
I didn't want to come here. I was chased from my home by some ruffians.
Oh.
I had guessed that they had followed me here, but honestly, it's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah, if they did, they're probably mixed up in the chaos of Paris itself as much as you are now. Sorry to tell you this, but the whole place is basically at war now, as of like earlier tonight.
A very sneaky war.
At the first part, I will shrug my shoulders and just kind of mumble like, "Oh, they just wanted a ransom." And then, as you mentioned the war, I'll just raise an eyebrow and say, "Excuse me."
Oh.
You seem a rather good bit nonplussed about that.
It's been a long night. I'm not sure I've really processed it all yet. But, yeah. Definitely some people looking to cause some problems for, our lovely, Parisian kindred here. And, there were definitely, like, 10 kindred who got murdered and no one noticed, and now we're noticing, to make the long story short. Anyway, evidence that this guy's involved. I would like to investigate this room.
Okay.
Woot!
As you go about investigating this room, you look at the books on the shelves, and all of them are handwritten.
Ooh.
Many of them are handwritten in languages that you recognize, like you recognize Greek characters, Cyrillic characters. You recognize the languages that are being used, but don't necessarily understand the languages. There are a handful of books here written in characters you don't recognize, like at all.
They don't look like the ones that are on the arrows, do they?
No, but there is a book that has reference to all of those in it. Yes, but that's just one book there that has that. The rest are all written almost like journals. And you can, as you look at them, you can easily come to the conclusion that these are in chronological order, and that some of these were rewritten from earlier points because the binding techniques are more recent. And if you are to assume that this is chronicling of one entity's existence, this entity has either been very, very busy or has potentially been alive for many thousands of years.
Oh,
no. I'm in trouble.
only if they catch
no.
you, honey.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Grab the book, grab the magic
Yeah.
bullet book and run.
Yeah. Realizing that this is
I have a really
yikes.
bad feeling that I will mention at the end of game. Because I remembered what else
distinctly
can...
possible that somebody else is in this room, is watching, and I am not aware of it.
That terrible realization of, well, what could be thousands of years old that's not a vampire? Anyway, back to the office. Vern, find me fun toys.
I want to
get me
take
fun
the
prezzies.
book that has the reference to the magic arrows and
Okay.
shit. That should be enough, right?
I mean, do you want to look through the drawers of the desk?
That's
They're all locked.
Yeah, quickly.
You can either break them or you can pick them, but they are all locked, all 5 of them. There's one long, thin one here at the top, and then there's 2 shallower drawers here and 2 deeper drawers on either side.
I will attempt to break one of the deeper ones.
Okay. Then roll me a strength athletics check, please.
That's why I'm breaking it. Lockpicking takes way too much time, and I am decent at strength athletics. 3 successes.
1, 2, bam! You hear the audible sound of the wood splintering as the lock latch is still pointing up. And when you look inside this drawer, you see laying on top of a set of papers are 2 brass knuckles. However, these brass knuckles are not designed the way they normally would be, because where there would normally be a stud on each of these knuckles, there is a giant claw affixed instead.
Turkey picker-uppers.
If you had to take a guess, they look a bit like oversized wolf claws.
Dibs.
I mean, you could come look and snatch them. I'm not gonna stop you.
I will look, and if Vern doesn't take them, I will.
Well, if the invisible friend doesn't take them.
Oh yeah, if the invisible friend, if they don't start floating randomly, I will take them. I will affix them to my fingers and just kind of flex and just be like.
So you lift it up, and it looks like it's designed for a hand much larger than yours.
Mm-hmm.
But as you slide it down your fingers, it slowly comes down to fit perfectly over your own knuckles.
Ooh. And again,
Well, that's
I will
a
just
neat
like.
party trick.
What? Not that I'm there, but are they bronze? By some chance?
The knuckles are bronze, but the bit of dripped metal holding the claws in place is silver.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to admire my fine new piece of jewelry.
Murder shinies.
And look at Vern and just say, if you don't mind, or look at the invisible friend.
All yours.
Excellent.
What's the papers underneath?
You pick up the papers underneath, and as you're flipping through them, these are all written in English. These are all written in a way you can understand. As you're flipping through, it's all shorthand, but it's all words you understand. Report received from agents here. Position established here. Replaced asset here. Replaced target there. Eliminated target here. And you're watching lists for London, Athens, Milan. You're watching as all of these European and American cities are just popping up. Bam, 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 bam. You're watching from all the way to the tip of North America straight down to South America. And as you get further and further down the stack, you're watching the names of cities and ports in North Africa, South Africa, Asia. You're literally seeing cities on every continent listed here, with mentions of target eliminated, target replaced, asset in position.
I am taking as many of these as I can reasonably carry.
Okay, you're taking them, and as you're picking them up, you notice that about 2/3 of the way down, there is an envelope that is sealed, and on the front side up, it says, "To Vern."
Oh, yikes. You see the papers just stop moving as that gets revealed.
And with that, we have 30 seconds to the end of game.
Ooh, can I do something really quickly?
Sure.
While Vern is digging through papers. I am going to go to those journals that he picked through and just kind of like pick through them myself and try to find the oldest looking one. And in a petty show of vengeance, I'm going to throw it into the fire. Can't be replaced. Get bent, bitch.
So you chuck that into the fire.
Let's throw the evidence into the fire, okay?
It's just one book of dozens.
And when you chuck that one into the fire, you hear an approving laugh in the back of your mind. It sounds kind of like the beast, but not quite. Because you normally don't hear the beast chuckle.
Huh.
Huh.
It's not me.
Suspicious.
Maybe just a little bit. Vern, do you open the letter?
I guess.
You pick up, you flip it over, you break the wax seal. I had a feeling you'd be the one to find this room, so I opted to leave you this little note, my precious little pet. Welcome and good work. You've made this so much more fun than I ever imagined. When you all got involved in Boston, I was completely unprepared for how much more interesting you would make everything. I don't even hate you for making me accelerate plans. So what if one thing goes up before all the others? In the long run, it doesn't matter much. I'm going to admit, though, I'm going to miss not being able to see the look on your face when Paris burns because of your actions. If you'd like, you can always hurry along, because I have some business in Vienna, and while it was originally later in my itinerary, I know all of you have business in Vienna. So you and I can both deal with Watts together. Or you can run back to Boston. You might be able to make it just in time to save Prince King. What matters more, Vern? Saving your home or figuring out what else I'm up to? Sincerely, Königsmacher.
Yep.
And that's the place to end it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Crazy.
Königsmacher. Who's that again?
The dude
The-
with the slow
The scary dude.
Yeah. Yes,
Slow
yes. Oh,
clap
yes, yes.
dude.
Also the guy
Yeah,
that
so
stole
slow clap
all of
dude
the
who, yep,
not
stole the-
snake, not lizard people weapons after we did that thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
all of the in no way related
Yep,
to
yep,
Lovecraft
yep.
mythology from Professor Hormon's warehouse.
That's spicy, like some triple spicy noodles.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep
Yeah.
things entertaining and spicy.
Oh yeah.
Well, we have a stalker.
Yeah.
We have a reverse stalker. He already knows where we're coming to bother things.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, that's bad. That means he has or has in his command someone with
Mhm.
way too much auspics, which we
hey,
already know.
on the bright side now, he's down a diary. So
Oh, I can't wait for you to start using those.
if
Okay,
if
so-
he needs to remember something from like really early in his life, it's gone. It's over. What's
Okay,
that?
so-
This plan was predicated on something from like the first days of your vampire life? Too bad.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
burn the evidence for the bad guy. Good job.
Oh dear.
Whew.
Well, what if it's important to the bad guy?
Then we could have used it to track him down.
But petty
On the-
revenge.
On the upside, if it's Koenig Macha, at least it's not mummies.
Mummies.
Because that's where my brain went. And I'm like, are those in V5 yet? Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, what else
There is no
There are no mummies.
there is no Mu 5 yet.
Move.
Move 5.
I have to specify that because there's also Mage.
Yeah.
So calling it 5 would be unfair. It would have to be either Ma 5 or Mu 5.
Fair enough.
Mummies, I guess don't exist in V5 land yet, but the... What else could be thousands of years old and not a vampire? Oh, bleep. Something that can literally, part a sea. Or carve a hole through a desert to the other side. They're fucked up!
Mm-hmm.
Although if it were a mummy, they'd probably just sneeze and Paris would just turn over on itself. So... Never having played it myself, but this is what people told me. But no, it's just vampires. Just really old, ornery vampires with way too much auspics. It's fine. Anyway, so that's game.
Please. And
Party is still split, but we have stormed the castle.
Yikes.
Yep. Yep.
And we haven't been caught yet.
Yeah. Funny that.
Except,
It's almost like everyone's been giving you a wide berth.
Yeah.
they knew we were coming.
Trap.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well then.
So
Guess
yes,
we'll find out next week.
thank you
GG.
all for tuning in. I hope that was as much fun for all of you as it was apparently for all of them. Thank you once again for tuning in to Magic Fish Radio for Tuesday Night V5. I am your storyteller, and again, hopefully you all enjoyed, and we'll return to see how the rest of this goes. If you're here presently, thank you kindly. If you're watching us on YouTube, again, thank you very much for your eyes from the future. Perhaps it's about time for a couple of quick outros because more than a few of us have work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, running it backwards now, Madam Channel Producer.
Good. Hi, I'm Chris. I was playing Charisse / Riza tonight. Charisse was the whiny, I want a snack beast. That was interesting. I'm at Ms. Chryzilla on most social media. I am also at Magicfish Radio, because when you're talking to us, you're usually talking to me. And when I'm not on all of our streams, I am also on a Romp Across Ravnica, which is on We Are Nerdsmith's Twitch channel on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And a number of other times. But I only remember the East Coast, because I only have so much bandwidth right now. Where I play Moo, the Tabaxi Barbarian, who is a surfer dude, and will just eat her way across any given stretch of Ravnica, and it's awesome. And yeah, if again, on alternating Saturdays, we have one-shot indie RPG nights, where we have either other members of our casts or guests come in to run one-shot TTRPGs of new games I haven't played yet. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be I haven't played yet, but this is basically what I'm doing to alleviate the lack of Gen Con, you know, for at least the last year and the next year. So, because I need new games. So if you are an indie TTRPG writer, designer, contributor, artist, or just fan person, and you would like to run a one-shot on our channel, we can't pay you, saying that up front. But if you want to run a one-shot stream of your game just to prove that it exists, or show how awesome it is, join our Discord and come talk to us about it, and we'll figure something out. We'll work something out. It'll be awesome. So that's me. Thank you, mods, for the Discord link, and I'm gonna go look for someone to raid.
Next up, Harry.
Hi, I'm Ari here. I don't have anything really to plug here. As usual, you should play the video game Ori and the Blind Forest. It's very good. That's all I got. I have to go to bed very soon, so I am very tired.
Dracus.
Hi, I'm Dracus. Been playing Vern. Yeah, I don't have much presence online, at least for the next 6 weeks, because I'm getting very close to graduating. Yeah, so there's that. If I make something cool between now and then, I will post it on Discord, where you can find me most of the time. You can find me here on Saturdays most of the time as well, playing our resident asshole mage in Exit to Eden. Yeah, we have fun with that one too. So, see you all there probably.
Mm-hmm.
And our special new player, Morning, please.
Hello, I am once again Morning Wood. I'm playing Elizabeth, and when I am not here, you can find me slumbering 1,000 miles beneath the earth behind 13 sealed doors, behind which only a chosen hero may break.
Nice. Way to be.
Oh, so that's who moved in after I moved out.
Oh, dude, I got a great price on the place. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Did the neighbors ever stop throwing those goddamn parties?
Oh, dude, I ate them.
Oh.
Why didn't
See,
you
that's
think of that, bro?
Because I'm not the sort of immortal monster that can unhinge its jaw to eat people whole.
Well, you should be, man. That's the new generation shit.
I can't help it. I'm old generation. I just rip people apart, and it was just too much work, honestly. But yes.
And yeah, that's it for me. So,
Oh, yes.
Woo.
Thank you all again for tuning in. Hopefully we'll see you all next week so that they can all decide what they want to do with the information in that letter. Because once again, Königsmacher has never once lied to them.
Yikes.
Which means Prince King is most likely in danger. So
We
do they
like
rush back
him.
to Boston or not?
Oh no, we like him. He's a reasonable guy.
He's the
a
Malkavian
reasonable
prince.
authority figure.
He's a Malkavian prince. It's a weird city, but we like it. Anyway, we are going to raid Perception Studio. Yay, I did it right. And they're running some D&D game, I assume, because it's called The Underdogs and Undergoblins. And I'm more...
Oh, that's very good, though.
Oh, they have the Silence Legacy thing up, so it must be D&D. But this is their All Humans campaign, and there are no felted friends or puppets. But they're a fun channel, too. So yeah, chat. Thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. I hope we gave you adequate stressful vampire distractions for a few hours. If you're watching from the future, also thank you. Maybe come catch us live if you can. If not, VOD Squad is always great. We have lots of VODs on our Twitch channel and a related YouTube channel. Come join our Discord if you have questions or want to run games for us or play games with us, because, you know, we have a lot of casting calls. And yeah, so until we see you next time, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and diablerize responsibly. Bye!